Hey everybody, Mr. Bucko back again with an example from Power Standards Quiz 8 where we're solving for a variable in terms of another variable. So it might look a little different and seem more complicated than the equations we've been solving previously, but the idea is exactly the same and our answer will look a little bit differently. So I have an example up on the screen here directly from a quiz question that you may have where we have to solve the equation q times r plus 10 times t equals 9 for q. So what this means is that we want to solve this equation for q. We want to get q alone just as if it was a variable and we want to find the value of it. The difference now is that we have other variables in the equation, but that won't change any of the process that we do, but it will change our answer quite a bit. So first thing I'm going to do is just write up that equation there. So q times r, or qr plus 10t equals 9. And if we want to solve for q, we want to get q alone. So I'm going to separate the left side from the right side, and q is right here being multiplied by r, and then we're adding this 10t. So my first step is to get rid of this plus 10t. Opposite of plus 10t is minus 10t. So notice what we're doing here is no different than anything we've done in the past. The difference is we're kind of just tacking on a couple extra variables, but the process is exactly the same. When we subtract 10t on both sides, what we get on the left hand side will be just this qr, because the 10t's cancel out, which is why we subtracted it. And on the right hand side we have 9 minus 10t, but we cannot do 9 minus 10t because they're not like terms. So then we leave it as 9 minus 10t. So our resulting equation will be q times r equals 9 minus 10t, because we cannot combine these two, not like terms, so we just write it as is. Q is not alone yet. We have q times r, so we look and see, well, what's on the same side of the equation as q? R is. And what are we doing with the r and the q? We're multiplying them, so what do? We divide both sides by r. To eliminate the r on the left-hand side, we come over here and we divide the whole thing by r. So now we have 9 divided by r. I have no clue what 9 divided by r is, because you really can't do that. And negative 10t divided by r, I'm not exactly sure what that is either. We can't take 10t's and divide them into r groups if we don't know what r or t is. So it's not really going to work. So really what we've done here is we've simplified this as much as we can. So what we have now is q, because the r's went away, equals 9 minus 10t divided by r. And this is our answer. There's nothing we can do with this. Now this doesn't really look any more simpler than this equation we started with, but what we have done here is we have solved for q. So now if we did know what t and r were, it would be much easier to find the value of q as opposed to if we knew what r and t were up here, and I'd kind of plug that in and do some reverse processes there. So it doesn't look any simpler, but what we've done is use the same algebraic process that we've used in the past to just isolate a variable, and now we have that in terms of other variables, meaning that there are other variables on the other side of the equation. So it doesn't look any simpler. It's not a number, but that is how you solve an equation for a given variable in terms of other variables here.